I'm Drew, and this is Spelunker, Broaderbund game by Tim Martin. This is the NES version. Just as a disclaimer, this is an emulator. I do own the game in hard copy, but it's packed away somewhere. I think my brother has it in a box somewhere. So mostly I play it on emulator. But the emulator does have a couple of glitches associated with it. So later on you'll see that the floor turns blue. Also, some parts where there's a hill, there'll be little holes in it that I have to actually jump over, but those aren't part of the game. Those are just emulator glitches. So anyway, Spelunker. Yeah, Spelunker is an interesting game. It's sort of everything you hated about Pitfall meets all the worst parts of A Boy and His Blob. What it's really known for is how insanely unfairly difficult it is. Not difficult like the way that playing chess is difficult. More difficult the way that maybe rolling a big heavy rock uphill is difficult. It's really unfair and frustrating, and for some reason I have just played a ton of it and have gotten pretty good at it, so it might not come across real well in this video, but I recommend you give it a shot. Or if you want to see how hard it is without actually playing the game, there's another video review of this game that I'll link to, where the person apparently is playing it for the first time. But just to warn you, that review does have a lot of swearing in it, for good reason. So, yeah, this game is really, really hard. There are several things. You know, for one thing, if you fall more than about half the length of this little guy's body, you just die. So later on you'll see me going up some steps. If you fall off of the second step, you die. The other thing are these ropes you'll see me climbing from time to time. You have to jump off of them. And the way you jump off of them is not by just pushing the direction you want to go. It's not by just jumping. Oh, I just died because there's a ghost there. I'll get to the ghosts in a little bit. Again, the ropes, you die all the time on the ropes because you have to actually push the direction that you want to go and then hold it down and then press the jump button. But the trouble is, if you hold it down more than about a tenth of a second before pushing the jump button, you'll just walk off of it and die. So you might see me do that a couple of times. There are a few of those emulator glitch holes. So any normal game that had a problem like that, you know, they'd maybe try to minimize it, maybe have as few of them in it as possible, but not Spelunker. Spelunker, they decided they wanted the game to be hard, so they found little things like that that made the game frustrating and just put them all over the place. So some of the hardest parts in the game are nothing but ropes that you have to climb across. So anyway, that's a bit about how difficult the game is, and a lot of people really hate it for that reason. And that's not a bad reason to hate the game. I just died from the bat. These bats here just endlessly deadly guano onto you, and if you touch any of the guano that they're shitting onto you, you just die immediately, as you just saw. So here's some of those steps I was talking about. So yeah, I mean, it's really difficult, and a lot of people hate it for that reason, but one thing even the staunchest hater has to admit is that a more realistic caving simulation really hasn't been made yet. This game really gets across the perfect sense of adventure you get from, you know, going into a cave that's full of ruins and treasure and elevators and ghosts. Ghosts that you have to fire your handheld, yet somehow automatic weapon at. Yeah, so here's one of those parts that's just ridiculously hard. I don't know why they put these things in the game. It took me forever to figure out how to do this well. And here's some of those steps. Again, you fall off the second step. Notice, smaller than the guy is tall, but yet you fall off of it, you die. So, oh, there's another ghost. Unfortunately, I can't possibly get down. Meanwhile, that beeping sound you hear is the time limit that this game also has. It's not a strict time limit. What you have to do is get these little glowing line things, and you see up at the top there it goes from min to max. like any time limit, you know, as soon as it gets to not 0 but min, then that means that you've run out of time and you die. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I've heard people say that it's your oxygen. This guy doesn't seem to be wearing a mask, and there are bats and stuff down here, so there seems to be a breathable oxygen atmosphere. So I don't really know what it's supposed to be. While I'm going over that, I may as well go over the other stuff that I'm collecting and the stuff that you see up at the top of the screen. So the most obvious are the bombs. You've seen me, there's a bomb, and now I have one more, as you see in the top left of the screen. Oops. Bombs you use to blow up the rocks, just like I just did. That was me dying trying to jump off the rope, like I mentioned earlier. Next to the bombs, you've got bullets, so those are used for your automatic handgun. But the bullets are also, in addition to being used for the gun, can be used to shoot flares. So you shoot a flare straight up to get rid of a bat. I'll show you that in just a second. Usually I don't do it because it takes a little bit longer than just ducking under the bat and his death guano. But for demonstration purposes, I'll show you that there. Here's another realistic part, you know, crossing the underwater lake from this magical spewing waterfall in a Mayan cauldron or something. So those are the bullets up there, and then the other thing are keys. So you've seen me collect keys, and they're really what you're going for. So your goal in this game is just to get through the levels progressively, and the way you get through them is by collecting keys to open up the doors, just like in real spelunking. Okay, here's another bat. Another one of those emulator glitches. So here I'm running out of time again. Hopefully I'll make it down there. Get this in time. Got it. And moving on to the next level, every time you get through one of these, it gives you an extra life. Plays a little happy music, you get a bunch of points. And here's the last level, so this is where it starts really getting hard. So you saw how hard it is to make jumps, so they give you a really long one right there. So that's the first thing. Kill this ghost. If you die, you go back to the last item that you got. Go back to wherever that was. The rest of these items, by the way, are just points. They don't do anything. There are also some secret items. I'm not bothering to get any of those, but you might know about them if you've played this game before. There are various spots that if you touch, then a secret item will appear, and there are some extra items that do various things. One of them makes you walk really fast, which only makes the game harder. Another one makes you invincible, not to falling or anything like that, but to the deadly bat guano that is being endlessly shit by these bats. And then, of course, there's just extra lives, so you can get extra life. It looks just like a... Oh. Alright. Failing to jump off of these ropes well. I'm on my last life now, but it is the last level, so hopefully I can make it through this. I'm going to be careful. I hear that there's a ghost. There he is. Shoot him with my automatic handgun. Oop. These little piles of shit are really bouncy, as are the rocks, just like in real life. And these ones that are, you know, have these little puffs of smoke or whatever it's supposed to be, that will, of course, kill you, like everything else in this damn game. So, almost to the end of the game here. I had 2 orange keys there. I need a blue key and an orange key, so there's my blue key. Just at the end. That little Mayan thing up there is the end of the game. And I just gotta go up this ladder. And I've won the game. So it plays happy music, gives me lots of points. And that's Spelunker. I mean, I've made fun of it a lot, but obviously to have put in the number of hours that I have, obviously I don't think it's really that terrible a game. It's kind of fun once you get past the ridiculous frustratingness of some of them. So congratulations, you've gained all the treasures at last. Let's start on another adventure. So yes, this is one of those games that after you beat the game, there's the guy on his mound of treasure. You never find out how he gets out of the cave. I imagine it's terrible. And then you start again in the same exact game, only everything's colored differently, and the keys are invisible to make it a little bit harder. You beat this, it does it again, and I'm told, I've never done it more than once, but I'm told that if you continue to do this, you'll go all the way to 6 worlds, and the 6th one is actually impossible. It's actually missing keys, so you can't possibly beat it. So that's Spelunker. Ridiculous game. Broderbund. Tim Martin. Excellent job, Tim. And I'm Drew. Thanks.